Now it says we're live. So welcome YouTube. Okay, this is sequence online multi-stream. I thought that was gonna be genius. Boom, 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 pressing all the buttons and going live on Instagram, on Twitch, on Twitter, Twitter Periscope, on YouTube and Facebook. And apparently, that was a fail. So yeah, welcome YouTube. Welcome back to the party. Sorry, missed the beginning where I pleaded guilty to being able to cancel people, but also knowing what it feels like to be canceled. I know both sides of the coin, and for a long, long time. Definitely for the past 10 years. On Twitter, I think I have definitely over 300 accounts blocked. People bothering me too much. I needed to block them. 300 in 10 years of Twitter. That's a lot. It's definitely more than your average, whatever you will call it, on an industry and on social media. I say whatever you won't call it because the term influencer is I don't know if it's a compliment or not. Okay, let's not get sidetracked. Focus. I'm just checking if I'm really live. Okay, we are streaming live in front of 300,000 people on Twitch. That's beautiful. Thank you, Twitch. Okay, this is a difficult one. This is a difficult one to start because, and I took a couple of notes to stay focused on how I should go about this discussion. Is it bad for democracy what's going on today? We definitely 10 years ago were too far out into whatever we wanted to say, whatever we wanted to do on social media, on the internet. Again, I'm not ashamed of using my skills to do whatever was needed to accuse someone, because it was the way it was back then, even especially on Twitter, and people cursing, hating, whatever. And yes, since the Me Too movement, which again was a prime example of what's good about the cancel culture, the Me Too movement is exactly why there are benefits of bypassing the justice system. When the justice system fails and people take it on their own hands the right way, it works. The Me Too hashtag, the Me Too movement is proof of that. Then we were too far on one hand, just attacking anybody with whatever reasons we had. Then now I think we went too far the other side, when there's no context is lost, information is fake or misleading, especially when it starts to get even the journalist in the loop. Because when I've been canceled, journalists and high-level people in an industry or a community were part of the movement. That's not just like random people trying to cancel me. Those were like really, really powerful accounts, really powerful people. Problem is, hey, there was nothing. They couldn't deal work. And I'll explain to you the details. It's pretty funny. Nothing is black and white. The world is not fair. The justice system is not fair. I studied political science. I'm a bachelor, a BA in political science, and most definitely, democracy is not fair. Communism is not fair. None of the political system work. Okay, none. They do their best. Some are definitely better than others. Um, if you study them like I study them, they're beautiful. Communism, what a wonderful concept. Amazing. In the book. Then when greed and power and all this stuff takes over, what human beings do with those beautiful concepts is the problem. But I don't talk politics. I don't talk religion. I can talk about politics on a higher level, from Plato side for your point of view, or whomever you want, but not the politics you know. Those are two topics I don't even address: politics and religion. Out of my league. When you are leaning, when you have such an extreme situation today where people will even, some people, I'm not saying anybody, some people will even defend any cause, anything. They will jump on any boat that um, pretends to do the right thing because they don't want to see their own problems. It's much better to take care of, to look after the gossip or pages on the magazine, or hear about what's going on in your neighborhood rather than fixing yourself. Unless you're perfect and it's all black or white in your life and you've never done anything wrong and you've never lied, and maybe you are that person. I'm not even sure if I envy you, actually. Fucking up is a good thing. You should fail. You should mess up. You should make mistakes. Some are bigger than others. And most definitely the question asked in this podcast I watched yesterday, you believe, about the cancel culture, and the question: would you buy art from an artist who committed a violent crime? Harvey Weinstein is most definitely a bad person who deserves to be in jail. Now, what about all the wonderful movies he produced? Can't watch Pulp Fiction. Can't watch. I mean, Miramax. You know. I even look. Oh, look. I didn't even buy it. It was given to me. But this is a French artist. He actually signs with his fingerprint because he did like 15 or 20 years in jail. Yeah, for sure, violent crimes, robbing banks, and he went. It was in the 70s. He went left, and was against everything. Okay, war in Vietnam, nuclear, whatever. And he went left into some groups who defended certain ideas, and they had weapons and all, and they also robbed banks, and he got caught. So he committed violent crime, and I own an art piece. And if Pulp Fiction was going through, I don't watch much TV like most people on the web, but would I not watch Pulp Fiction because Harvey Weinstein was the head of Miramax when they made the movie? I don't know. I guess it depends. Is the reason the response the answer? Okay, it depends. So again, we're going back into nuance. It's not black and white. It depends. What also a violent crime looks like in 2020 might not have been the same 10 or 20 years ago. I have a very good example. Back in the early 90s, I was working in New York City. I was living in this village and hang out in trendy clubs and bars and restaurants because I was part of the scene. And I was at that bar restaurant called Bowery Bar on this village, a couple of blocks away from my house. And I remember exactly Mike Tyson coming into the restaurant. He was just out of jail for rape. And he had a bunch of beautiful women with him. What do you want to say? That was back then. Today, nah, I don't think he would have behaved the same way. Was it fair? Was it not fair? Was he wrongly accused? I don't know, okay? But he made a statement by going to a trendy place in this village with a couple of beautiful women celebrating. That was not just him and a couple of women, okay? It was a whole bunch of them. But you get my point, okay? He made a statement of, okay, I'm out and you will forgive me. And everybody forgave him back then. No problems. So you have to adapt with time. And hopefully, the only thing I'm waiting now is, okay, we went too far on one side, going crazy 10 years ago on social media, accusing anybody of anything and insults, cursing, swearing. And now today, it's the needle went all the way to that. Okay, let's switch camera. That culture of black and white, no middle ground. You have to take side, because if you don't, if you're not on my side, if you are on the other, and it's guilty until proven innocent. So it's reverse than the justice system. Is the justice system broken? Oh yeah, for sure it is. Yes, it is. Is democracy broken? Yes, it is, for sure. Is it better than communism? Maybe, yeah, depends. What side? if you're the richest guy in the communist country, it's all good. But the rest, yeah. See, it's centralized versus decentralized system. You have a bunch of people deciding for everybody else, or like in a capitalist country, everybody is doing its own thing until it's going too far, and then they tell you, hey. So it's not clear cut here, okay? And the problem is, again, everybody wants everything to be clear cut. If you learn about game theory, go check out even like just the Wikipedia page of game theory, about game theory. It's very interesting because you will learn when you have to make an impossible choice. Okay, you have a typical example of game theory is you are in San Francisco and the tramway is coming, but the driver had a heart attack. So no driver, and the tramway is just flying loaded with passengers. And in front of you, there's a lever you can pull to sidetrack the tramway. If you don't pull the lever, then the tramway will kill 10 people. If you pull the lever and you sidetrack the tramway, it will kill 5 people. What do you do? You have very different cases of game theory and the Nash equilibrium and all that. Um, but when you put yourself in a situation where you have to make an impossible choice, look it up. You have formulas to try to solve this problem. Pretty interesting that they all can come down to a mathematical formula sometimes. Things that sometimes seem very complicated. Again, it depends. Okay, if go read about game theory because if I start rambling about that, we won't get finished about the rest. And I have a little bit to cover. Okay. Number one. You have a platform like Facebook, like Instagram, like Twitter, okay? Social media. Are they really the guilty one? They carry many scenes. Yes, they take your data. Yes, they can build what's called like a filter bubble around you, meaning you start searching about something, and what's called the cognitive bias of confirmation will make you dig deeper, and then suddenly you won't have access to the other side, and you will just go deeper and deeper into that rabbit hole without saying anything else. But those are just tools. Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all that. It's just amplifying and accelerating the effects of what human beings do to each other. Uh, Not Facebook fault. Yes, again, they do a lot of very bad things, but um, uh, people do that to each other. People made Facebook what it is. And I even remember Twitter the early days when it was more like a chat, like an like email kind of thing. Like you were just like emailing publicly, okay, or chatting, sending a text message in public to someone else, so others could see it. But um, then it became, well, first step, any social media, any platform on the internet has about a year and a half to 2 years of life. That's it. Afterwards, I come in. People like me, SEO, marketers, all that crew. And everything becomes different. So that's one step. First, yeah, happy party. Then marketers come in. And then it can change to evolve to something that becomes its own part of the internet. Like Facebook is, I mean, billions and billions of people on that site. So it's its own little part of internet, I believe. So how do you fight this? What can you do? I'll answer that in a couple of minutes. At least I'll give my point of view because I don't have a solution. Okay, this is way beyond uh, what I can solve. I can solve what is around me, and hopefully I'll try to reach out to a couple of you. That would be wonderful. But otherwise, it's pretty difficult to be able to tell you what is right or wrong. What I can tell you, what I can explain is how you can figure it out better, build a better point of view on the matter at hand. That for sure I can do. So point number one is uh, for sure the tools we have at our disposal, technology we have today, amplifies and speeds up our behaviors. But at the end of the day, humans do that to themselves. Point number two now is you are disillusion. Okay, the system is broken. You want to defend a cause. You also are gratified by this sense of belonging because suddenly you join a tribe. Okay, a tribe is there is this sense of family, but it's borderline cult also. So community, in my opinion, is straight up cult, but tribe is family cult type of thing. Okay, better. Um, in online terms, okay, translate, please don't cancel me for that. Try to understand that I'm talking on marketing, digital marketing terms. So this sense of belonging is very important, but it should not blind you. It should not be an excuse to avoid your own problems. Trust me, I'm not here. I'm not like a coach in motivation or personal whatever. Or, all I can say is when you're in check with what you see in the mirror, beautiful things happen. Suddenly, wow, it's a lot better, like a lot. But I can't teach you that. You have to do your own journey for that one. And the people I hate the most right now are those journalists. Since 1994, I learned how to manipulate journalists. I know how to pretty much give me 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, and I can feed anything to a lot, not all of them. There are still some good ones who do the work, but yeah, enough. Enough journalists to say that they don't do their job anymore. They're bloggers or editorialists, but they're not journalists. They don't just tell you the facts, okay? They serve an opinion. They have an agenda. So either by not telling, and the worst is like if you had a sport commentator, okay, who only reports on the first halftime. And that's what I see every day in the news. Yeah, they will report someone got an injunction. Okay, got you went in front of a judge for something. Period. End of the article. Okay. What about the rest of the story? When at the end of the day, the trial was all cancelled and the accusation was overturned, and actually the person accused sued the other one. Okay, because you can't sue people for anything and anything. You can't waste the justice system's times. It's wasting time on itself enough. You didn't report on that, and that's a real case. That's a case I know of a very respectable news outlet in France who did that for someone I know. Okay, only reporting the first half of the game. It's because it served their purpose and what they wanted to do. So journalists are definitely not helping. It's a disaster because even if the web, even if what we do, we are all a media agency. If you know how to manipulate those, and you don't need to have look. I have four of them. You don't need all this entire setup to start to have a voice. You can have a piece of hair that's Okay. Um, you can have a voice. You can start to say something online, and if you are strong enough and if you are consistent enough, if you know the rules and you know how to deal with them, well, guess what? You can survive it. And I'm telling all my clients, all my students, everybody I know today, to build a personal brand, you need to go flat out on social media, start to tell your story, blah, blah, all this. Well, I also say that you got two problems here when you start to have a little bit of influence and some people start to pay attention. One, be careful when you start power tripping, when that little bit of fame starts to get to your head. That's the most dangerous one. Two, not paying attention to the trolls, the hate, the critics. That's the easy part. You think that's the hard part? To be cancelled? Nah. The hard part is not getting high on your little 15 minutes of fame. And especially if you want to play that game long term, when you're still standing after 2004, okay? It's a long time. I think I got the shoulders to be in check with how people understand me or not understand me, and the level of influence I have, and I can have other satisfactions in my life than what people think of me. And I don't need love from anybody but my family and people close to me. So I don't need, and I don't need to live through other people's eyes. So that's really my best recommendation if you want to stay on top and stay on top. Because once it gets to your head, you can lose track and go Google up if you don't know them, the club, the 27, okay? Those 27-year-old rock stars who all died at that age. All of them rich, famous, loved by everyone and anyone. Still so lost that they destroy themselves and died at 27. That's pretty young. And those are not like small rock stars, okay? Major ones. 27 years old. So now the other side, the other problem. The haters, let's go white, GoPro view. The haters, the trolls, the critiques. This is how I do it. Rule number one is I'm dissociated from my personal brand. It's especially difficult when it's on your name, your own face. I don't wear a costume. It's my real name. Well, not SEO conspiracy, but my real name is well known, and there's no. I'm not hiding it. So it's even more difficult. But still, I can detach myself because when I'm attacked, when I'm hated, when I'm trolled, what you attack, what you hate, or what you just don't like, it's not me, what I am inside, is what I represent online for you. Okay? It's not me, it's what I represent for you online. Or even AFK if you want. But then also, everybody is entitled to an opinion. Everybody can say whatever they want about whomever they want. What? Okay, you're free. Free. Internet. You can say whatever you want. However, if you say something about me, please allow me to judge, to evaluate if you're legit, if what you say carries some weight or not. Okay, I think that's fair game. And sorry to say, but everybody is entitled to an opinion. Not all opinions are equal. Fair game. So when I look at people like the profiles, when that big canceling moment of glory happened, it was on Twitter. So I didn't need to delete thousands of comments like it could happen on if they attack you on Facebook or Instagram. But still, it's pouring in and it's very violent. Um, but you just click, you look on the profiles, okay? Randomly, I was checking them out. All right, took me about 2.5 seconds to just by looking at the information filled in the bio on Twitter, I could tell that that person was not legit. The point of view that person carries does not carry. It doesn't matter because that person doesn't know what she's talking about, and she's just following somebody else who needed her to support his cause or his or her cause. And problem is, one, yeah, your opinion doesn't matter at all because, sorry, you don't know what you're talking about. And second, in my case, so let me explain. I'm a search engine hacker at night and an SEO consultant during the day since 2004. So I know a little bit about search, SEO, digital marketing. I know people in the search industry, and it happened that a search engine was what 8 years ago, 7, 8, yeah, I think 8, was founded in France called Quant.com, QWANT. And I became best friend very quickly with the founder and CEO. And one guy started to go crazy building a conspiracy theory by jealousy because he had like a small search engine, but not a real search engine. Quant is a real search engine with its own crawler, index, infrastructure, 170 employees. And so that guy is just one guy in his bedroom plugging in the Bing API. And he went to look for funding in the government entity, and they told them, well, we can give you anybody because we gave everything to Quant. So he started to go on a crusade, go crazy to try to destroy Quant because it was unbearable. And that guy was spending all day, all night, every day building that conspiracy theory. It's very easy when you take elements, especially when you build the technology, you have bugs, okay? So you take all those little elements and you frame them to build the story, even if they don't have anything to do with one another. If you frame it well, it could build a compelling story. And what was crazy is that guy like sent a letter to all the Congress, the equivalent of Congress in France, and he got all the French tech underground crew on board. Also because Quant, well, they were cool at first. It's a search engine that respects your privacy. So the whole French tech underground was very cool with Quant. Then Quant started to get some serious funding. And I guess if you are in the French tech underground, you have to stay poor, or you can't. And the day my friend was on the plane of the French president on the way to China, and he was able to make the deal with China. That was the end. That was the end. You are not part of the French tech underground. and I was defending. I was the number one person, the only one to defend Quant at the beginning when they started to get attacked from all sides. Um, and that was even before that guy who got obsessed. So since day one, Quant got attacked. Why? I don't know. Uh, but it's just the way it is. And I defended Quant because I know how a search engine works, and the people who attacked Quant on the technology side didn't know what they were talking about. And then it went a little deeper. I live in Andorra, which is a tiny country, 80,000 citizens. I'm French. I was born in France, but I'm a citizen of the world, okay? I didn't live that much in France, actually. And Andorra is it's like Monaco in the mountains, okay? It's offshore. It's not that much offshore anymore, actually. We have an accounting now since 2012. Um, we pay taxes. It's not like when I moved here in 2004 where it was totally freestyle. No counting, nothing, okay? Zero taxes. Yeah, 100% offshore. Offshore in the mountain. And my friend, the CEO of Quant, is from Corsica, the island on the south of France. And a few famous mobsters come from Corsica. And of course, I live in Andorra, in an offshore place. So you have, especially back then, you had people laundering money all over the place. So it was very easy to make the assumption that because my friend Eric is from Corsica, he must be a gangster. And because I live in Andorra, I must be also a gangster and laundering money for him. The problem is, when Quant was born, it was already the end of the freestyle taxes zero. Okay, it was over. Everything stopped overnight, and well, still the high people, like always. Okay, if you own a bank, or if you're you can still do, like in any country, whatever you want. But for the regular people like me, yeah, no. But when it was still zero taxes, and even if I wasn't doing anything bad, I never did anything illegal where I live. And I did one blog post to explain how money laundering works. Okay, it was just not telling you to launder money. It was not saying I'm laundering. I was just explaining a couple of the systems. And that was 2007, 2008, maybe, something like that blog post. And I saw a link to that blog post in a reputable, like respectable media source online. Okay, they couldn't find anything because there isn't anything to find. It doesn't exist. It's just in their head that they invented that money laundering thing, and that I was. So it's kind of funny it's strange to be part in a conspiracy theory when you know that it's all bullshit. But they were so thirsty for blood. I knew, and those were journalists. Those were like very influential people in the French tech underground world. They wanted to hang me and my friend. Yeah, they really wanted to hang us for sure. You could feel like the blood. They wanted, and the journalist to go to that extent of saying, okay, that guy CEO from Corsica with his friend from Andorra who likes to write about money laundering. What? Journalists do that, really? That's what someone on Twitter or back in the days on a blog would do. But the real journalist, like really, we are down to that today. I don't know what you think, but I think it's pretty scary. So yeah, for sure the system is broken. We have a big problem right now because it's broken everywhere. But is that direct democracy of online shaming, deplatforming, canceling, whatever, is it the solution today? Again, I plead guilty. I'm part of the problem. I've done it by myself. I don't even need like a mob scene to follow a hashtag. All by myself, with my skills as an SEO, I could destroy someone forever online. For real. I can do my job is doing the opposite, okay? Making you famous online. That's what I do. But I can also do the other way. And I did it for sure. I erased everything. And today I still fight, but most definitely with a different tone. When I have to talk to my community, to talk to my industry, which is SEO, search engine optimization, which is digital marketing, I will only do it on Twitter. Before, I would take over the search engine result page forever, okay? That's your business card, and it's mine. I take it, and you can't take me down, ever, unless I self-destruct myself. On Twitter, the lifespan of a tweet, a few minutes. Even if it's on Periscope, how much is that really evergreen, the content on Twitter? And especially, who is on Twitter? Except web professionals and power users and journalists and celebrities. Regular people are not on Twitter. So when I need to address the SEO community, my colleagues, my friends, I keep it on Twitter. And also, I used to curse. I think swearing, cursing is, especially if you are clashing, if you're fighting with someone, it when you use it as it's a trick to, well, destabilize and also put people straight up in front of reality, like right there, right now. And it's a chess game. So I used to use cursing quite a lot, but it was a technique. And I stopped overnight when I saw that switch. That now, during 10 years of Twitter, I never had a problem. And 2019, 3 lawsuits just for swearing. So I knew it was time to stop cursing on the online. And see, I'm not afraid. Like I posted the lawsuits before even my talking to my lawyers. I'm that kind of person who is not afraid to. I told you, cancel people. Yeah, no problem. I tell my followers if I get a lawsuit, no problems. That's part of my trick also, to be invincible, because you can't hold me responsible for anything, nothing that I didn't accuse myself of before. I'm accountable for everything. I know my flaws. I know my mistakes. I own my failures. I don't dwell on them, but I own them. In my opinion, that's what people should do. They should take care of their own problems instead of trying to defend any cause, all causes. But if you do, because yes, I was brought up in a way where I learned to, I'm programmed to not respect, to not believe anything that I'm said. The status quo is not okay for me. The uh, through my education, through my family, through everything, I learned that. I learned how to take sides, but I also learned how to do it. It's not just like taking side that's important. It's how you dig deeper, how you learn the facts, all the facts, and then you can make an opinion. So when back then I did cancel a few people, it was not out of the blue. What the facts that I was putting on, sharing, I don't think, no, it was never disputed. Like nobody ever, even the people who accuse them like themselves, never, uh, not once said um, that it wasn't true what I said. Maybe they had different opinions, a different side of the story, but I can't. I pray. I mean, don't quote me on that. It's, I'm getting old. Alzheimer is hitting my brain, I think. So I wasn't right on everything for sure, uh, but I got the reputation of when I brought when I was bringing up something, maybe I didn't get all the facts straight. Maybe I wasn't right 100%, but I never ever put somebody down who was not guilty. Okay, because the justice system, lawyers, judges, yeah, for sure, it's good. It's slow. It's broken. It's not fair, but that's what it is. Then when we bypass the justice system because there's a sense of urgency. It needs to happen now. Okay, now can't wait. So that's also part of the problem here, and especially in one case, the cops called me to because I gathered so much elements that they wanted me to share with them what my findings, and um, the cop was explaining to me how in that specific country in particular the justice system was extremely slow, and maybe one day they will get him, but it will take a lot more investigating, a lot more time, a lot more um, people suing that guy, and so on. So yeah, like in the Me Too movement, it worked. Like in the case, a couple of cases, I took charge. It was definitely the right thing to do. Um, Others, yeah, but I don't regret. It's in the past. Did it, done it, deleted everything. So now I don't own, usurp anymore on anything, and I will not do that ever again. Because yeah, that's pretty powerful when you have so with that power to build or destroy a reputation. Um, Someone like myself, a SEO, needs to have a certain sense of integrity and definitely must know the difference between what's wrong and right, especially in marketing where when it's not illegal it's allowed, and the difference between persuasion or persuading or manipulating is very thin, and you can definitely, it's easy to manipulate people when you know how certain skills like copywriting or whatever is um, performing very well when you need to make people do something. In September 2019, Gabriel Iglesias is a comedian, think he's Hispanic. He's Hispanic. He lives in America, LA, I think. It was about 1 year ago. He got canceled. What did he do? He took a selfie of his dog called Nuggets and him in front of a fast food chain called Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A. Yeah, like I guess it's KFC, but another one. I don't know. I don't know Chick-fil-A. He took a selfie with his dog called Nuggets in front of that fast food chain and wrote, "I'm going to buy some nuggets for my nugget," because his dog is called Nuggets. He got canceled like heavy, like bad. They like really, all the worst type of hates you can imagine with the death threats and all that stuff. Like full on, flat on. What I also experienced. So he got the whole thing. What did he do? He took a picture of him with his dog with a funny quote in front of a restaurant. Now it happens that one of the founder or someone in the by maybe the founder or someone in the company gave money to an organization that did some actions against the LGBT movement. Uh, really? And you get canceled for that? Like you go eat your chicken nuggets, take a selfie, and you're supposed to know the political agenda of one of the founders. Wow. Don't you think that's a little bit, when I say like we're back in the days 10 years ago, we were too much on one end, and then it was definitely, and I plead guilty, I was part of the problem, and the attacks were very violent, and looking back, yeah, not so cool. But now, wow, like really, for real, you get canceled for that? You're supposed to know your choice of fast food will decide if you get hanged on social media or not. That's a little bit, again, the needle went too far on the other opposite side, and it needs to go back a little bit to go in the middle. To conclude, that was my story to conclude, to tell you that instead of, I don't blame you, because you learn, the education you had was, okay, this is what you need to know. So I learned how, okay, not what, how to think, not what to think. Since the kindergarten, I was programmed like that. I was programmed to challenge the status quo. I was programmed to think different. And it's not that easy. Trust me, when you are in a world where it looks upside down, okay, when you are coming from my angle. So I deal with it. I accept it. I shut up. Doesn't mean I don't have a point of view, but I won't express it online unless I know very well what I'm talking about. And I wish more people were doing that. That's all you need to do. My brother, you just need, or my sister, you just need to educate yourself the right way. Learn the other side, okay? The Prince by Machiavelli is a book. People think that it's a manual to learn how to do evil. It's not. It's The Prince by Machiavelli is a book for the good prince, the nice prince. He needs to learn the tactics of his evil enemies, otherwise he will get his head chopped off. So if you are liberal, do watch the other side, study the other side, um, try to find actually what's the common ground, okay? Go from there. Instead of going from the differences. And humanity is doing reverse of what human beings are doing, everything backwards. Throughout time, we should be coming together. Animals have territories, they don't have borders like we do. And borders should go away, especially certain borders make no sense. Even today, some went away, like in Europe, but others are coming back, like England. No, we should be going the other way around, all coming together, and we are spreading apart, and really spreading apart with a brick wall that's never ending. Yeah, walls. I remember a famous wall that went down in Berlin, in Germany, and the wall should have kept on coming down instead of being built up again and more and more. But who am I? Can't save the world. Can try to just talk to a couple of people around, and then we'll see what happens next. But I hope it helped. Don't hesitate to reach out if you're in trouble. I've dealt with this. I know how it feels. I'm very well equipped today to manage pretty much anything coming from the good side or the bad side. So if you need it, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here for you. Thanks for watching.